This is Raj Patel is the author. And so he writes, "One thing is clear. The thinking that got us into this mess is unlikely to rescue us. It might come to some consolation to know that even some of the most respected minds have been forced to puzzle over their faulty assumptions." So when I read this, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, this sounds like religion, this problem. So that's one question I want to ask you, Rick. Do you think this quote actually applies to religion and theology as well? The idea that the thinking that got us into this mess is unlikely to rescue us? What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And this is like right there at the beginning of the book. It jumped out at me too. He's talking about Alan Greenspan coming to terms with the 2008 housing crisis, and how, how he admitted he was shocked at some of the flaws in the system that he didn't realize were there. And I think that that's something that we all, even in the religious world, we're experiencing a lot of lately. A lot of us are rethinking our politics. We're rethinking even our theology. It's, you've heard the word deconstruction. A lot of us don't like that word, but it's the word that keeps popping up that we use. It's, we're questioning the embedded assumptions about the way things are, the way things work, how things operate. And like in the political world, like the conservative answer in conservative politics is really like, well, you just keep cutting taxes, you keep cutting regulations, and eventually the system's going to, work out the kinks. And then in the conservative theological world, it's like, they'll say they're okay with questions as long as you stay within the same systematic theological conclusions. And so we're going to still have retributive justice. We're still going to have this real like heavy penal justice system, and we're still going to believe things exactly the way we have, but somehow we're going to come to different results. And I think what we need to come to terms with is we need to be willing to question some of those assumptions that we have about the way things are.
So a follow-up question. So what is it about the nature of religion and theology, sort of like capitalism, that actually prevents it from like the people who do it, from not only puzzling over their own faulty assumptions, but ever admitting that they got it wrong? Like, what is the nature of religion and theology that even prevents that from even happening?
I think a lot of it depends on the nature of the religion. Like, if you have a religion that's based off of a fear of punishment, then you're not going to want to question your assumptions. If you have a religion that's based off of love and curiosity, and an admitting that like we're looking into the infinite here, and we're not going to have this all figured out, then I think there's going to be a childlike curiosity that you could have with those questions. So I think it really depends on the nature of your religion.
Yeah. And I can't help but think when I see this quote, the sort of the cliche sort of definition of insanity, of trying the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Do you think that applies here as well? I mean, especially with the church. I mean, is it just minor changes that they're willing to do, but they really need to do major, like, or are we just sort of stuck in this sort of insanity loop of trying the same thing over and over again? Like, how would you think, is the church actually being insane by not trying anything new, or is there hope that we're going to change something?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's like, there's a famous pastor who once said, he's a fundamentalist with jeans on. And at first I thought like, oh, that's like an amazing quote. He's like, because I was thinking you could still be cool and hold to this theology and not question these things. And then now I'm like, wait a minute, he's a fundamentalist with jeans on. It's like you can change your pants, but you can't, that's not going to solve the problem. And I'm not suggesting that we just start switching things up and, just throwing everything to the wind and trying new things with no guidance at all. But what I am saying is we need to be willing to do more than just change our theological pants.